the world. Good morning, good evening from all around the world. And this is the fourth episode of the Gentleman Warrior podcast. Somebody I really respect asked me to keep making these, and I think it's a good thing to do because with certain developments in my life, I just wanted to share to all of you some things that I've experienced in my own story that could help or could even worsen what we're going through as gentlemen warriors. And one of them, from the bottom of my heart, is dismissiveness. Uh, Dismissiveness is a epidemic of sorts, or even a pandemic, because it's slowly but surely etching away at the humanity of us men. Dismissiveness takes the feelings that we have or the experiences that we have and just disregards it for whatever reason. Reasons could be as vague as, well, that's not what men do. Or they can be as simple as ignoring a man when he is symbolizing his life by a spool of wire. If you haven't seen that video, I suggest you check it out because that's a good example of what dismissiveness is like. But for those of you who don't understand, though, as gentlemen warriors, one of the first traps that we will fall into in this world is the trap of allowing people to be dismissive with what's going on with us. Like, for example, if your girlfriend dumped you, that sucks. It's very painful. But a lot of the bro code dudes will say, oh, she's just another bitch. Move on. Find someone else. Yeah, thanks for nothing, Captain Obvious. These are all results. But this does not deal with the present pain that comes with having your girlfriend dump you. Sometimes, like I said in previous episodes, what you genuinely need is just someone to sit in the mud with you, to realize you're going through pain, to be soft and to be gentle with you as you're in this sensitive state, and to slowly coax you into getting on your feet again. Now, this is not an excuse for you to become a little bitch and cry all the time and become a drama queen and expect everybody in this world to take care of you because of some injustice that's happened to you. Because, quite frankly, that is not resilience. That is you being a weakling. And let's be totally honest, if you are expecting people to care for you all the time, you are going to get disappointed. As a man, especially as a gentleman warrior, remember the word warrior is there, meaning we take our licks, but we stand. Okay? Like I told my best friend Jerome, for those of you who don't know, I have two best friends, Jerome and Marcus, that I said, dude, let me bitch, let me complain, let me yap, but as long as you don't see me backsliding, just tolerate that. If you still see me working out, training, teaching people, writing, and not going into an alcoholic bubble or taking drugs or being self-destructive, then just that's me venting. You know what I mean? But if you see me stopping these things and all I'm doing is venting, then I'd expect you to knock the shit out of me. It's because we have been so indoctrinated that, oh, you've got to be a man, right? You got to be a man. You got to be like a dude, you know? That's not manly like. That slowly but surely our hearts are turning into stones. And it's getting harder and harder for us to feel safe around people because when we do show even a shred of weakness, a shred of pain, a shred of turmoil, we either get laughed at about it, we get looked down to about it, and then we put it in our heads that it's wrong to feel that way when we are feeling that way. Think of it like this. I'm not taking away anything from women who provide for their families, but statistically, more men in the world provide for their families. They work, they fight, they protect, they build. But sometimes we hit a wall. Sometimes we hit a limit. It could be age. It could be health. It could be our mental states. And when we hit that limit, the last thing we want is to hear from the people that we are fighting for that we're weaklings. Is to hear for the people that we have entrusted our vulnerability with that we're not allowed to feel this way. I recall once I used to have a friend who had some mental issues, and during the pandemic he was having a lot of breakdowns because all the lockdowns and stuff was getting to him. And every day I would check on him. Hey, I know I'm bugging you, but how are you? And I would assure him, dude, we're gonna get through this together. I'm still here. That's how committed I was to him. And I knew it was difficult for him. But when the roles were reversed, and I would open up to him about, and to others in a small circle about what I was going through at the time, he would say, oh, he's sick of this, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is a weakling's way of doing things. So it's kind of made me realize that, wait, this guy is being dismissive to me when I've got problems, but when it's his problems, he's more than happy to accept the support. Another one that I like to talk about is that some people think that you just have this on and off switch in you, that you can just stop the pain at will. Like we are willingly choosing to feel pain. Case in point, if I had a friend who betrayed me, okay? This friend could have been a friend from mine for 10 years and he betrayed me. That's gonna hurt. And for somebody just to say, oh, move on, let it go, you get what I'm saying? Doesn't make sense because it still hurts. The problem nowadays is that we have been so indoctrinated with all this pseudo self-help jargon that, for lack of a better word, it has become dismissive. It has become inhumane, especially towards men. When I was having problems in my marriage, I went to somebody that I thought I could trust, and I was really against the wall. I was planning on doing something that you can only do once. That's how bad it was. And this narcissistic fucktard basically told me it's all in your head. You're just making it up. It's not as painful as you think. Is that what you want to hear when you're against the wall? Or another form of dismissiveness is when you come to someone for a problem, when you're against the wall, that person switches the narrative and makes it about them. Like if you tell them, I'm on the verge of a meltdown, can I please talk to you? Oh yeah, and I'm also feeling sick. I'm not feeling well today. My fever is high. You see what I mean? It's basically taking your needs as a person and disregarding them. And the question is this: why do we tolerate that? Why do we allow people to do that to us? Because society has put it in our heads that most of the time we don't matter. But the truth is, that's the biggest lie. Your feelings matter. If somebody told me that they got cheated on, I would never say, you have 2 weeks to heal. I would say, dude, take as long as you need to, but don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. Keep fighting. I'm here. As long as you're fighting, I'll be in your corner. That's a lot better than saying some nonsense of, shift, next. That's cruel. I've heard some pretty cruel, dismissive things said to me through some of my darkest periods. Stuff that, for lack of a better word, it makes me even wonder, are these people even thinking when they say it? When I had a nervous breakdown once, somebody close to me said, I'm selfish. Now, I'm wondering, brothers, have you ever had somebody turn the gun on you like that? That like you're sick, you're in the corner, and then they make it seem like it's your fault for asking for help? And then we wonder why so many men decide self-termination, which is never really the answer. I really pray and hope for a world where men can, in effect, share openly how they feel, with the condition that they move forward and not backwards. So if you come to me and say, Rob, I'm really down, man. I was cheated on by my wife. Life sucks. I tell him, dude, so long as you want to move forward, I will support you, not carry you. No one is we men, we gentlemen warriors are not asking to be carried. We are just asking to be shown some compassion here. Okay? But I'd say, okay, bro, it sucks. I'm really sad that happened to you. But if you're telling me you want to sniff cocaine to get over it, keep me out of it. You want to kill yourself? Keep me out of it. But if you want to become the best version you could be after this pain, then I got your back. Always moving forward. But sometimes you just need to be safe. Feel safe around certain people, knowing that you could break down right now and you will not be judged, especially when your back is against the wall. The problem is, unfortunately, we men are not allowed by society to have our back against the wall. It's like we should just go out on our shield all the time. But we hit limits too, you know. Again, I'm not saying that this is an excuse to be a little pansy, to be a weakling, not to do your job, not to stand on the wall and protect the people you love and to provide for your family. No. On the contrary, I'm saying that if we do that too much, we are eventually going to get tired emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, physically. And the one thing we want is for somebody out there to at least see the sacrifices we make. And I'm so thankful to my kids for that. Because they succeeded where their mother failed. They both said, Dad, we see how hard you're trying. Thank you. We love you. And that gives me strength. But how many people don't get that? How many people are treated just like workhorses all the time? And is that fair? And we're not asking anyone to carry us. It's just like sometimes even the simple act of making coffee for me, because they know, or you know, doing the dishes without me asking it or something like that. Anything to lighten the load. It's not about unpaid labor. It's about, wow, you see me enough to realize how heavy my load is. And in your own special way, you're trying to lighten it. That's the opposite of dismissiveness. But other people have this bad habit of just, you know, oh, just shift your mentality, let it go, move on, make a new family, date someone new. Whenever you say any of that useless pseudo self-help garbage at the wrong time, I'll ask you one question. Would you have the guts to go into an ICU ward and just say, why don't you shift your perspective to one of the patients there? Or why don't you heal faster? No, you wouldn't do that because you know there's something wrong with them. You know that they need to take time. They know that you need to be gentle with them lest they relapse. This is a common human fact. This happens to both men and women. So if you know that, what more when a person is at the limit? What more if a person lost their family, lost their job, lost their lover? And again, you don't really need to solve the problems for these people, but don't villainize them for being in them because they don't want to be in these. They don't want to have to go through this stuff. They actually, just like me, I want to be happy. But if I saw somebody right now whose back was against the wall, man or woman, I'd speak to them with compassion. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes people get addicted to that. They get addicted to being saved. Gentlemen warriors, no, we don't do that. We just need to be patched up so we can gear up and go back into the field. Just give us just enough time to get our bearings back. But don't work us to death. Because chances are, we may just work to death just for the people we love. Stay strong, gentlemen.